各位好，欢迎收看凤凰卫视每周台为您带来的天天话题之财经专栏。我们知道呢，人工智能 AI 现在已经成为了我们这个时代最具变革性的技术之一哦。那么从自动驾驶汽车到虚拟助手，人工智能呢已经对我们的生活产生了重大的影响。那么房地产行业，人工智能又将如何的来改变这个行业？未来又会是怎样呢？我们在今天的节目当中呢，很高兴的为您连线到的加州注册房产经纪人，同时也是 AI 的创业者 Gary Webb。Hi, Gary. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you, Andy, for having us.
So, today we're going to dive into the fascinating world of AI in real estate and how it's changing the game for the new generation of agents. Can you start by explaining how artificial intelligence is currently being used in the real estate industry and what impact it has made on the market?
I think AI is a very new topic. It came out in 2023 this year, basically. And from my knowledge, there's actually not a ton of agents actually using it. As in small business owners, real estate agents are small business owners, and a lot of them are actually not using it yet. However, we have taken an approach and really have been keeping up with this AI tool in a lot of different ways. A lot of things that we can do, and agents can do is number one, get market reports very easily. It gives market trends of different cities, macro and micro. You can do on a big overall US state. Usually this research would take real estate agents maybe hours to put together a report. You can actually put these reports together in a matter of minutes now, or even, seconds a lot of times. It really depends on how we do that thing and how we structure it. AI is not perfect by any chance. And, as a professional real estate agent, you have to take that information that AI gives you, but at the same time, really craft it to really meet your client's needs and what they're looking for. So market updates is really one thing. The second that we've really been pushing for is to actually use it in terms of social media. Social media is one of the biggest ways that real estate agents can use to market themselves. And I think social media is one of the fastest growing things, including AI, and using AI to write your scripts, find trends, understand the market reports, and really put those together. That's how we've been really using it in general. And then I think another way that we've been using it is we actually wrote a book through AI and with AI. Here's our book right here. We took 1 month to write this book.
Wow.
And it's called Hometown. It's about the app that we built, and we'll explain more about the app a little later. But you can basically write a full-fledged book. This is a 200-page book that's really well written as well. And we use AI to write the whole thing as well. But those are those are the applications that we've used to be able to utilize AI on our day-to-day basis.
Now, what are some specific AI technology or tools that you have personally utilized or encountered in your real estate career, and how have they improved your work as an agent?
Yeah, so I'll give you an example if that goes well. I think finding really micro examples allow us to really see how I use it on a really nitty-gritty basis. So we make a lot of social media content, and with the social media content, what we do is the hardest part is understand what kind of content to make. So there's a ton of AI tools that actually can look at trends of what's really trendy on TikTok, with Instagram, with LinkedIn, and everything like that. So just going on ChatGPT or Bard, you can actually just say, what are the latest trends that I can do as a real estate agent for that? So the ideation part and to see what we can put out there, that's really useful, because a lot of times you would just be researching by looking around and seeing what there is and then saying, oh, I like this, I like this, I like this. But really, this gives you a wide variety of different things that you can use. And so you go, okay, these are the 3 trends that we can use. So I would pick one of those trends, and then I would say, okay, great. I want to use this trend. Let's say it's a trend of, let's say it's making even a dance, right? A TikTok dance sort of thing.
Right.
How do we use this TikTok dance to really showcase real estate in the best possible way? And then they would come up with ideas, and they said, you can do this, this, this. And I said, great. I love idea number 1. Do this dance showcasing Beverly Hills homes, and also write a script for me. This is what's really great, is that you can actually have it write a script for you, and then it will write an entire script. It'll do this in about 2 minutes, which is really amazing, right? Or actually not even 2 minutes, like 30 seconds, they'll push out an entire script. If you wanted a script for just a 15-second TikTok, they could do that. If they want to do it in hour-long scripts, they can even put an hour-long script if you want to, so that you can give a whole market report on something and have an interview or things like that. After that, when you're posting it, you can actually have it post, and you need some sort of a caption. At the bottom, every post has a little caption that says, this is what the video is about. Now, with the caption, you could just ask ChatGPT. I used to struggle a lot. Like, what do I write? This is me walking through a house. What do I write about it? Yeah. All I would do now is go to ChatGPT and say, write me a script or write a caption, an Instagram caption about 123 Blue Jay Avenue in Beverly Hills, and to showcase, certain features. And 10 seconds, it would have an entire caption with little emojis also, hashtags and tags on other things also, which is really amazing and really great. So that's one of the examples how we use it for social media and that as well. Do you want me to talk about how we wrote the book and why we wrote about the book?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so
tell us about it.
Hometown book, right? This is a really interesting project. I want to give a shout out to my business partner first. This is Robert Chang, and Robert Chang, this is me right here. We're on the book cover, but I mean, if you look at this book design, just look how beautiful that is. And this is like just designed in terms of what it looks like on the inside and everything. It took us about a week to write the manuscript, and we did it with AI. We used a lot of different AI tools. And the reason why we wrote this book is, number one, we built an app for realtors that's going to be the ultimate social media app for real estate. And we really believe that it's going to be not only changing the way agents do their business, but also change the entire industry as a whole and what agents focus on. Because agents really focus on, in terms of marketing right now, a lot of the marketing do is still on their website. We still door knock, we still walk around neighborhood, network, and things like that. But we really don't see them really, really prevalent on social media. And that's where we really want to spread that. Whether you're on WeChats, whether you're on WhatsApp, whether you're on Instagram, all those are places you can place these videos. So we built an app ourselves that we think is going to be an integration of, let's say, like Zillow, which is a big real estate site, and Instagram put together. So you have video content plus multiple listing property information put together so that you can really get an understanding of your neighborhood and of your community as well. That's what we're doing. That's the message that we want to get out. So we said, let's write a book. ChatGPT, we want to write a book about our app, and we described our app. And could you write it in 10 chapters? Within 2 seconds, well, not even 2 seconds, 30 seconds, it had a 10-chapter layout for us already in 30 seconds.
Wow.
It went through a story arch, like, oh, what are your beginnings? What are your struggles? And then how are you helping? And then what is the future of your app and where is it going to go? And so we had a 1 through 10, which was really great. We're like, okay, we know what our book is going to be about now. That's easy. So we took this and we said, okay, now how do we actually write it? They can't write it for us because they don't know what to write, actually, right? So how would you, I almost want to challenge you, Aini. What would you do? And if you can ask ChatGPT anything, how would you do it in that way? What is some of the ways that you would tell your story, maybe as an anchor, that they can do?
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating to hear that, it only takes you about a month just to write a book with ChatGPT. That's definitely, unheard of.
Well, actually, it was just a week to actually write the manuscript.
Wow.
So what we did is you had to really tell them, this is how Robert and I met, right? These are some of the pain points we went through. You have to tell them that, but how do you just tell them that? Because you have to type out everything. If you have to type out everything, then aren't you just writing it anyways and just having it correct the grammar, right?
Right.
So what we did was we utilized other tools as well. We did a Zoom meeting just like this, my business partner and I. He would go in another room. We would record the session, and we would have on Zoom, you could actually record and transcribe everything also. So at the end, we had a transcription of our entire conversation through, word by word. Robert said this, Gary said this. Robert said this, Gary said this. And we had the whole transcription. We take that transcription copy, paste it into ChatGPT and said, this is chapter 1 of our book. Write it in a tone of voice that we would have and as we're speaking, and put it into a book point of view. Make quotes, make dialogues back and forth between Robert, but tell a story in a progression of how we're doing it. And so it took our audible words and our conversation, just like we're having now, and it put it into a chapter book-like format, pushed it all out into a chapter, then revise. We did that chapter by chapter. Every day we did about 2 to 3 chapters. By 4 days, we're done with the book. Then read it over, and revise. Now, revising is kind of hard, right? You're checking for grammar, spelling. You don't have to check with that for ChatGPT anymore. There's no spelling errors. There's no grammar errors.
Take out the boring part.
Take out the boring part and the tedious parts, right?
Yeah.
So we took that and we said, okay, well, while we get that, and then we put those chapters, but a lot of times ChatGPT has its own voice. That's kind of strange. So sometimes it's too formal, sometimes it's too relaxed, sometimes it's weird, right? So what we did, we said, okay, we had to put it back. We take the whole chapter back, put it back in and say, okay, adjust it to here. Then it would put out something else. We reread it, readjust it, readjust certain parts, back and forth. And so that's basically how I think a lot of people can tell their story, which I think it is not just empowering for real estate agents. I think it's really empowering for everybody to tell their story, to get their story out. And what's really amazing about that also is that when you can actually order this on Amazon, HOMMTOWN, and look up Gary Watt or Robert Chang. When you write that key combination, what ends up happening is that Amazon has this book, but it's not printed yet. It'll print out 1 copy for just you and ship it over to you. Wow. There's no inventory. It's not like we have a stockpile of 1,000 books behind us and we're not shipping out ourselves. They print on demand through Amazon Kindle Direct. All we do is upload the manuscript, which is, I think, amazing technology that really empowers people to print out their own books and do their own thing at this point.
Wow, it's definitely a game changer. Thank you for sharing with us. Let's take a short break and we'll be right back. 那我们先休息下，进到广告。广告过后呢，我们再来继续今天的天天话题，不要离开。感谢回来，在今天的节目当中呢，我们继续为您邀请到的还是我们的加州的房地产经纪人，同时也是 AI 的entrepreneur， 就是我们的 Gary Watt。Hey Gary, so you have mentioned that the real estate market has seen significant changes in recent years. Tell us, how do you see AI continuing to transform the industry in the coming years, especially for the next generation of real estate agents?
I think AI is going to be a big leap into what we want, what we're building out really in our app also. I think one of the things that you can really, again, we mentioned before how we use AI in our social media, basically towards marketing. And I think that's what we really want to do. With our app, Hometown, that we built, what we really strive to do is place agents front and center, to be the center of the transaction. Because there's a lot of companies out there that are real estate companies like Zillow or Redfin or any other ones. They're trying to take the agent out of the picture and replace the agents. But I really believe that agents are the center of the story and really help you understand and navigate through that. And just by going to the agent sellers directly doesn't always act in your best interest, because they have interest by the seller. They're representing the sellers and not really you and really seeing what you want. They just want to sell that home that they have right now listed. So what our app does is put the agents front and center by giving them space and really showcasing themselves by video contents. And with AI, how we're building into Hometown, and we just started building this into Hometown actually even today, where we're using ChatGPT to build ChatGPT bots to be able to really understand what that is for the buyer. So if you think about it, there's a phrase in real estate that goes around that says, buyers are liars. I don't know if you heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a common phrase because a lot of people think, buyers are trying to tell you one thing and then they mean something else. But I really don't believe that buyers are liars. I believe that buyers just don't know exactly what they want. They want to see it, they want to be able to touch it, they want to be able to understand, and then within their budget, how do they buy that in that way, right? And of course, everyone wants a multi-million dollar, those features of billion-dollar houses or hundreds of million-dollar houses. Those are great. Everybody loves those. But that's not everybody's budget. So how do they find something that's within their budget that really matches them, what's in their hearts? And how do they really know what they want in a house? I'll tell you, Heini, I'm a real estate agent for 10 years, and I still don't know what's my dream home. I really don't know what that looks like. And I've been to so many, if not thousands of houses in my lifetime. And there's not one that I'm like, oh, wow, this one is perfect.
This is it, huh?
It's crazy. And I can't even imagine that buyers have to look at a house one time typically and decide that's the house I want to buy. Here's an offer and go from there. So what we're building into our technology for Hometown is to really predict and to understand what the buyer's wants and needs are. And that's done through video content. So a lot of times when you're searching for homes, you would like a home or save a home into a collection. Now, when you like a home and save a home, typically what you're doing is you're shopping with your eyes, right?
Right.
Oh, I like the aesthetics. But how do you describe that? You said, I like the kitchens. I don't know. It's something about the feel of it, right? And a lot of times they don't understand, but it could be a modern style kitchen or a rustic style or a farmhouse style or just a very homey style kitchen or open kitchen or closed kitchen, or it really depends on what kind. They don't know how to describe it in words sometimes, but sometimes in the description it would have it. And sometimes in the description it would have like, oh, I like this one and this one and this one. I liked 5 of these. What were the similarities? They don't know what the similarities were. But our AI bots are really trying to predict, oh, I see a trend in what you're doing. You actually really you said you like kitchens and kitchens were the most important. Actually, every one of these houses had a really big backyard and it was very nicely manicured. But that's your not to talk about your spouse. Your spouse is saving something different, right? Maybe your spouse is like, oh, that garage, I like that house. He can't articulate why he liked it. Maybe he says, I really like that garage, but every one of he wanted a garage because he works on cars and he wants a large driveway to put the boat in or something like that, right? But he's liking the ones that are all different. You have 2 different opinions and yet they have to coexist and live together. So the wife is saving one, the husband is saving one, and what the AI bot is saying, well, here's the similarities of what you guys actually like. Now, add in there another component, which I think is going to be very, very powerful. What our app is going to do is we're going to have the agents videotape you in the house to kind of record and understand, just so that you could remember. Because if you see hundreds of houses or 10, a couple houses, you start to forget. You're like, wait, which one was the one that had the red door? Did it have the laundry in the garage, or was it in the house, or where was it? Oh, let me go back to it. The video allows you to remember what that was, where it was, and how. And you're like, oh, that's right. I really like that because of this. And you make some tags, or you even just audible say it, or you just record yourself. You said, oh, and as they're walking with you through the house, making that video, you're like, oh yeah, the garage is really nice, da, da, da. And you, oh my God, look at this, the rose garden, right? And then you all of a sudden get excited about the rose garden, the orchids and the fruit trees outside, and you keep talking about the lawn, how expansive. You unconsciously don't know you're actually spewing out your preferences, your likes and your dislikes. So what this allows you to do is take all that data now and then be able to say, okay, this is actually what you like, and put it out there. Now you're flipping through and maybe you're looking at a city like Arcadia, California, and you're like, oh, I like the mountains in Arcadia. I like the school district. I like the Chinese food and things like that. And you're like, well, I want to live in Arcadia. And all of a sudden it pops up something else and says, hey, you might want to check out San Francisco or San Jose or something like that, or another community that you've never considered living. And you're like, why is it showing? Wait, it has the yard that I want. Wait, it has the mountains and the hiking that it has great schools. I never considered maybe living in Thailand, but man, for a fraction of the price, for a third of the price, I can live there and have everything that I wanted. We're trying to redefine what home means to people, especially post-pandemic work from home, really utilize AI to really showcase what's in our hearts. I don't believe that AI is going to replace anybody's job, really, not in the near future. But I think people's jobs are going to be replaced by people who know how to utilize AI. And I think that these tools are here as tools, just like computers, when it first came out, did not replace anybody. Calculators did not replace math, but it did replace people who only did math through handwritten or drawing things. We don't need to do that anymore. Accountants don't need to do that. It automatically adds up. Doesn't mean that there's no accountants anymore. So I really feel like agents, buyers, sellers that can utilize AI, especially the tools that we're building in Hometown, can be able to really excel in their business and really find their dream home.
Yeah, I think, you definitely gave a great example where AI-driven data analysis and predictive modeling really can, assist real estate professionals, in making more informed decisions, when it comes to pricing properties or identifying investment opportunities. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. And 同时也非常感谢各位的收看，我们下期同一时间再见。
您正在收看的是凤凰卫视。